Today we are welcoming a fashion designer. She customizes her own designs, and she also holds in-person workshops. So please give a big warm welcome for the owner of Dream Girl Studio, Miss Seneca Scott. Okay, would you like to please introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Seneca Stevenson. Keely has me down as Seneca Scott, and I am the owner of Dream Girl Studio.
Okay. All right, first question that I have for you is just to keep it a little bit light in the beginning. Who are your biggest style or fashion inspiration?
Wow, I was not expecting that. I would have to say most of my style and fashion inspirations are local artists and not so much the bigger artists because I just feel like they do all the same stuff. So I would have to say like local artists that are in Chicago or like student artists that are like aspiring artists, they usually are doing the bigger things, the better things than your Louis Vuitton, your Chanel, and the known artists that you see on TV.
Okay.
Hi, Ms. Scott.
Hi.
Second question, what's your dream collaboration with any brand, celebrity, or designer?
My dream collaboration would be with Janae Monáe. I would love to style her. I think she represents what my brand represents, and that's being different, standing out, not trying to get approval of what other people want you to look like or want you to stand for. So that would be my dream collaboration.
I just went to her concert and I loved her style, but I think you could do an amazing job as well. Yeah. I loved it. What is your favorite piece that you have ever created, and why does it stand out to you?
I would say my favorite piece is denim is like my jam. So I recently went to a really fancy wedding in Germany. And when I say fancy, it was like top tier. They spent so much ridiculous money. Excuse me. They put on the invitation that it says something like, be aware of your attire or you will be scrutinized. So like everybody that was going to the wedding was like, oh my God, what am I gonna wear? This is like a big deal. And I wore a denim dress. And I did that because I don't follow fashion rules. Like I do what I wanna do. And I would say that was my favorite design because it was like a ball gown, like it was dramatic, like big, fancy puff sleeve, but it was denim. Like the whole thing was like ruffled denim, flowers made out of denim, and it was a showstopper.
What's one business lesson you had to learn the hard way, and how did it help you grow?
A business lesson I've had to learn the hard way is to have a plan. I think a lot of things in my business I'm kind of just learning as I go along. And not really like, I wrote this down, I'm gonna do it this way, I'm gonna take care of it this way. It kind of was just like, I think I should do this and I'm just gonna try it. And then sometimes it turned out great and sometimes it didn't. So I would say the biggest lesson is like having a plan and knowing like the steps you're gonna take to get to this goal.
Okay. It kind of aligns with that a little bit. How would you balance the business side of work, like marketing, finances, and partnerships with your creative process?
Well, I will say that with the field that I'm in, the marketing is somewhat fun because I'm trying on clothes, I'm showing my personality, and like everything I make and wear is like my personality. Like I'm fun and free and like I said, fashion has no rules, so that part, I think it balances because I get to just be me and not like follow these rules. I have to do it this way, I have to go this way, I have to, do it like that. So I think just being myself like balances out all of them.
We love that, especially on social media. Being your authentic self always thrives the most.
And sometimes it's not accepted. Like sometimes they want us to be this other way or but I think my business allows me to show up authentically, and it's like you either like it or you don't.
Students who may not have access to formal training or expensive materials, what are some creative ways to get started for them?
I would say, well, for one, I did not have like formal training. Growing up, my mom taught me to sew like in our basement, and it was kind of something I just stuck with. So I would say if you don't have the formal training and it's something you want to do with any field, that you research and you practice and you do it over and over and talk to other people that do it. And you go hard and you'll be just as good as somebody that had the training.
What advice would you give to students who have creative interests but may not know how to turn them into a career?
I would say start with what you have. Because you don't always have to have it all figured out. But if God gives you an idea, just go with what you got. Start with that, and you never know what it'll blossom into. And don't give up.
My question aligns was, if a student wanted to start sewing or designing right now, what's one tool and material you think they should have?
Well, a sewing machine. And then also, I know sometimes when I talk to people that want to learn how to sew, they may say, like, I can't afford to get a sewing machine. Go to the thrift store. Like, you will find what you need most times at the thrift store, on Facebook Market. Somebody else used it and they don't want it anymore. I would say start there.
I don't think we got a chance to hear really in depth about your business. Can you explain a little bit about that? Because I think it'll help with the sewing machine aspect a little bit. So if you would like to share.
Sure. Okay. So my business, basically, a portion of it is a boutique. I make clothing from thrifted items. So I'll take like a man's blazer and I'll make it into a two-piece outfit for a woman. So I'll like cut it in half and like tailor the blazer so it's like a cropped something, and then the bottom is like a skirt. Or I take like old denim jeans and make something similar to the skirt belt I have on. And then I also make earrings. And so I believe in like drama earrings. So all of my earrings are like big and ridiculous. So that's like the boutique portion of my store. And then I also host workshops that are like a craft fashion field. And so you can come in and design a jacket. So like when you see people with like patches on their jackets or paint or fabrics or just a different looking denim jacket, like I host workshops where you learn how to do that. I host sewing workshops. I have craft workshops for kids. I have sneaker design workshops, earring workshops, like all kind of stuff. You basically can like come into my studio and I teach people how to make it.
Yeah, I saw it on your website, and I'm not gonna lie, the picture that you have for it, are you selling that jacket currently? Asking for a friend.
Everything's for sale.
Okay, absolutely. Okay. I kind of want to ask a little bit about your brand and everything even further. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave through your brand and your creative work?
Wow. I hope to leave, even for my children, not just the fashion aspect of the legacy, but I hope to leave a legacy that lets them know that it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to not fit in. It's okay to not be like everybody else. It's okay to not be what like social media expects you to be. To just stand out and dream big, because whatever you think you can do, you can do. And if you doubt yourself and you think you can't do it, then you won't do it. That's cliche, but like it's really that simple. Whatever you think you can do and you put your mind to it, like you for real can do it.
Have there been any key mentors or role models who helped you shape your journey as a creative professional?
I would definitely say my mom. Growing up, she used to make me sew, and I hated it. And then now this is like my profession. So it's crazy how the tables turn. So I definitely would say mom.
I love that. How do you stay inspired and continue to innovate in a fast-paced and ever-changing industry like fashion?
And that's a good question, because I do have times where I'm like, I don't want to do this, or this is too much for me, or what did I get myself into? So staying inspired is a job in itself. I would definitely say thrifting. I could feel like I don't know what I'm gonna make this week, or I don't have any ideas, and I could go to a thrift store and I'm like, I know what I'm gonna do. So I would definitely say thrifting. I follow a lot of like local fashion designers on social media. So just flipping through pictures or going to art museums. I'm easily inspired by just something I saw. Like I went to the Field Museum a few weeks ago, and they have an exhibit in there, an African fashion exhibit. And just going there, I was like, ooh, I got some ideas. So I would say just the simple thing.
Love that. Can you give us maybe 2 or 3 good thrift stores that you might be going to?
There is one on 63rd and Kedzie. I really like that one. And then for like a brand thrift store, it's up north. It's on like 4300, where you can trade brands. So like if you have some Nike pants and you don't want them anymore, you could trade for another brand of something, and they only accept brands.
How do you approach mentoring or supporting young creatives who look up to you?
Well, I do a lot of programs with the youth. In CPS, I do like all kind of workshops, and then I have like craft clubs in my studio. So I would say definitely if like fashion is something or craft is something like you're interested in, I totally like feed it and tell you like you can do it, just like stick with it, or just nurturing what you already have and then pushing you to move forward and to believe in yourself.
I love that. I know you talked about social media just a little bit, but can you explain a little bit more the role it has played in growing your brand and connecting with your audience?
I would say social media is so hard because everybody's doing the same stuff, and sometimes if you're not doing what everybody's doing, like you're not getting likes. But I will say one thing for me on social media is if I get no likes, if I get one like, I still show up. And I think my biggest social media that's really, really working for me now is TikTok. I get at least 5 customers a week that are saying they found me on TikTok. And sometimes on TikTok, I'm getting 50 views. Or sometimes I'm getting 12,000 views. So I just keep showing up, like no matter what. And it's working for me. So yeah.
Listen, a view is a view, so anything counts.
Yep.
This is just a question that I have. So when you were like first starting your business, what like motivate? Because I hear a lot that when first time business starters or owners, they run into problems. What kept you motivated to like keep pursuing your business and like really build a name for yourself?
And I'm still running into problems. Like, every day is something. It could be like, I have no Wi-Fi today, or I didn't get that many sales this month. I still got to pay my rent. So it's always something. But I think that I always remember my why. Like, why did I do this? Because I worked like a 9 to 5, and I resigned from my 9 to 5 to do this. So remembering my why, remembering like, why did we quit again? Why are we doing this again? It keeps me going because I can't quit. Like, I got to do this. This is my purpose. I was assigned this. Like, and I always tell my girlfriends that are business owners, like, in the midst of you wanting to quit, somebody is telling somebody about you. So, like, I got to keep going because that one person that's telling somebody about me, like, they might come buy something or I might be inspiring them. So just having the will to keep going, even when I'm...
What was the first thing you ever designed or sold, and do you still have it?
So I've been sewing all my life, but the first, like, for real statement thing, I was in a hair show, and this was probably 25 years ago. I just told out my age.
It's okay.
Yeah, probably like 25 years ago, I made this, and it's funny because Akira made this recently, but I made it 25 years ago. I made a top out of the waistbands of your jeans. So, like your jeans where your belt goes, I bought like 50 pair of jeans and took them all off the waistbands and like made a top out of it. And I was in a hair show. Yeah, and that was 25 years ago.
That's really awesome.
Back to what you said, you worked a 9 to 5. When you resigned from your 9 to 5 to pursue like starting your own business, was there like anybody that told you like you couldn't do it or like that you should probably try something else? Like that basically just talked you down into doing it?
Yeah, a lot of people. And even before I quit my 9 to 5, when I made this like an official business, like registered with the Secretary of State and like had a business license and then did all of that, I remember, and not a shot at my mom, but I remember my mom saying like, Seneca, this is just a little hobby. You think you should do all of that? And I was thinking like, yeah, it is not a hobby. It was just like, it wasn't that she didn't believe in me, but she just didn't see my vision. And that was okay because I didn't need her to see it because I saw it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely when I was about to quit, I would like mention it to family and friends, like I'm thinking about it. And I would hear the negative. So when I finally did it, I didn't tell anybody. I just did it. And then it was kind of like, school started back. You're not going back to work? And I was like, no, I resigned. So by then it was like, what could you say? I'd already done it.
This is kind of like a personal question, just a tad. But like, so when you took that leap, were you like, did you have like savings or like, a little bit just to prepare yourself for like business costs and everything? Or did you just kind of go with nothing? Like, how was that for you?
I definitely had savings. Because when you start a business, it's not always just going to hit the ground. Like, you're going to have slow days. You're going to have a great day. Then you're going to have a terrible day. So I had savings to live. And then I did have money saved to start the business. And then I wrote a few grants. I had a small loan. So just some things to, like, get me going until it was, like, something steady. And even with it being now something steady, I still have a bad month here and there, or a great month that'll cover the bad month. So it's really just about having a strategy.
Okay. So from the point that you started, when you first took the leap until about now, when would you say things finally started kicking up in your business?
Well, this is my second year having a brick and mortar. Before that, my business was strictly online. And the workshop portion wasn't a real part of the business. It was kind of just like a few friends would come over and we would play with clothes. And then that kind of just grew. So I would say this second year, the first year was kind of like playing around. Because it was like, is this going to work? Is that working? The second year is like, okay, this is really working, So I guess I would say like the second year is really when I was like, okay.
This is a personal question too. What did you do with your first like big check from your business? And also, do you do like charity and like just volunteer work with like youth programs?
My first big check, I know you want me to say like, I bought a fancy car, I bought this fancy jacket I wanted, but really my first big check, I had to put it back into the business. And even now, like, I'm not really paying myself like I should pay myself. Most of the great money, if I have a great month, I'm pouring it back into the business because I need another sewing machine, or I need another heat press machine, or that needs to be repaired and I've been looking at it for a month. So like really I'm at this point in the business, the money that I make, if I have a big month where I make a lot of money, I'm pouring it back into the business. I was just telling Keely in the hall that I want a Dream Girl van. So like, it's always something for the business that I want. And I'm just not at the point yet where I could be like, yeah, I went to the Maldives with my big check. I'm still having fun, like go on trips, but I'm not at a place where I'm like buying Lamborghinis. Getting yachts. Like I'm pouring it back into the business.
Are you running your business solo? And if so, are you prioritizing your marketing more, your business need more? How are you prioritizing each?
Okay. And sorry, I missed the end of your question. You said, am I doing charity for youth groups? I would say sometimes, but when you have a business, you have to limit how much you give away because people will take advantage of that. So I do little things here and there, or I'll tweak the price because it's a church group or a smaller group or something like that. But I would say, and sometimes I'll like give away a workshop, but I don't do a whole lot just because, now leading into your question, it's just me. It's not like I have a staff or I have like this huge Amazon company. Like it's literally just me. Like I am social media, I am the manager, I am the cleaner, I am the sewer, I am the workshop person. Like I'm everything right now. So I'm not at that point yet where I'm like giving away tons of things. I'm learning how to balance all of those things with just one person, and finally at a place where now I can hire help.
Okay. You get enough sleep at night because doing all that is a lot?
No,
okay.
I don't.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll come back to you. What challenges, it kind of, you spoke about this a little bit earlier, but what challenges have you faced as a creative entrepreneur or are still currently facing, and how did you overcome them?
I think one of the problems I face is that sometimes people think art is not a real profession. They think kind of like my mom thought, like, oh, that's just a cute little hobby. And it's like, no, I got a real business. So I think that that's a challenge that I still face sometimes. If people are trying to talk me down on the price or saying all you did was or all you doing is, and it's like, well, no. And I would say another challenge is setting boundaries, learning to tell people no, or no, I'm not going down on my price. This is what I charge, and that's it.
Period.
Or if people want, or just setting rules, like people want custom stuff made, or people just trying to take advantage of you. Just setting your boundaries, setting your rules, and being firm on what you believe in and what you'll accept.
Okay, so do you guys from the audience have any questions that you would like to ask Miss Seneca Scott? All right, we have a few, so I'll start with you, Mr. Aiden.
How you doing? 10 years from now, where do you see yourself?
10 years from now, I would like to have a youth runaway center. I definitely want to have transportation. I want to have staff. And right now I'm working on digital products, so I would like that to be like up and running. I'm also a clinical social worker, therapist. So I would like, and I usually tie that into my workshops too. So I would like that to be up and running where I'm helping kids with like ADHD or autism or anger issues using crafts to help like calm them down or soothe them or cope.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name's Mila. So my question is, how do you balance like your creative visions with like practical things like budget and timeline?
Very good question. I would say I have to, one thing that keeps me like in order is making a plan. Because sometimes I could say, I'm gonna make this outfit and my mind will go like in 10 directions. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna put pearls on it. I'm gonna put ruffles on it. Oh wait, I'm gonna paint it. And if I don't like make a plan, I'll be like crazy and then that outfit won't even get completed. Or I'll start it and I won't finish it. So I definitely have to make a plan. Even if I don't like draw out a sketch, I have to like make a plan like, okay, we're working on this, Seneca, and these are the materials we're gonna use for this, nothing else. So just making a plan and trying to keep my mind like focused on that one. Growing
up, did you like have any role models and inspirations in your own family or from your background that like did what you do now?
I would say no. I'm a first generation entrepreneur, but I will say my mom was a teacher, and I came from a family of educators. So like not going to college was like not accepted in my family. So this was hard, that tug of war with I don't want to go to college. But I will say, I did go to college to satisfy my family, but the initial I don't want to go to college was a tug of war. But I will say my mom growing up, she was a school teacher, but she did make like prom dresses and wedding dresses. But I always felt like she didn't charge enough or she didn't set the rules like it should have been. And I would look at it like, I'm going to take that and do something else with it. But nobody in my family is like an entrepreneur. Everybody is like a teacher, a social worker. So yeah, this is like new to my family.
Can you talk a little bit about that, like your college journey, like what you studied and how did it kind of shape you, or just your journey that led you to where you are now? Sorry.
Okay. So when I graduated from high school, like I said, my family's plan was I was going to college. I actually like applied, got accepted, everything. And then it was like, y'all, I don't want to go to college. And then my parents were like, absolutely not. You're going to college. This is what we do. And so yeah, I promised my family that if they let, and not even fashion, I went to hair school. So all through high school, I did hair. I promised my family, like, if you let me go to hair school, promise I'll go to college after I graduate. So I went to hair school, and I was making good money. I was in the salon making $1,500 a week. Now this is 25 years ago, right? Making $1,500 a week is great. So I'm in here. I finished hair school. I got my own place, my own car. Like, I'm doing it. And then my family is like, remember you said. So I went to college. I got my undergrad in psychology, and then my aunt is a social worker. And at the time, she was working for DCFS. And I I still wanted to do hair, but like I wanted to save the world like I felt like my auntie was doing. And so I got my master's degree in social work. And then after that, I started working in schools, and I was a school social worker. So fashion kind of like took a back burner, and I was like doing hair and doing school social work. And then I would make myself stuff, but I wouldn't make stuff for other people. And then people would be like, oh, where'd you get that? And I'd be like, oh, I made it. And it kind of was just like, dang, I keep saying that. I should make stuff for other people, but I was scared. So like I would make it for like a friend, and then she would tell a friend, and then it kind of just grew from there. So then I'm doing fashion, hair and social work, and it honestly was just too much. Mm-hmm. So I gave up hair, and then I was just doing fashion and social work, and now I'm just doing fashion. But I still utilize my social work because I'm a licensed therapist. So like I'll do a workshop where we talk about like social emotional or like mental health or good coping skills, and then we'll do a project.
Mm-hmm. You say you do that within your workshops that you hold? Okay.
Yeah.
And how
especially if I'm like in the schools, I'll do like a social emotional lesson where we'll talk about peer pressure or bullying or whatever, like my parents getting on my nerves, whatever lesson the students feel like they need, and then we'll do a fashion project.
That's such an amazing gift, especially like just using your creativity, but also still serving others with the license that you did get. So that's very nice. Any other questions from the audience? We didn't get that side. We didn't get that side yet. So I'm a pick on.
She had a question and he took her question.
I'm sorry. Can we get this side first? We didn't get them yet, and then I'll come back to you.
Are you going to come up there?
Yes. I don't know if you're going to be in.
Hello.
Hi.
So my name is Xavier. I'm from Thornwood. I do have a question for you. You said you are a licensed therapist, correct? I was thinking about doing that. What are some of the benefits to being a licensed therapist?
Okay. I would say the benefits to being a licensed therapist is that it's almost like the PhD of therapy. So like I'm a licensed clinical therapist, which is different than a licensed therapist. So the clinical therapist is like the highest you can go as a therapist, besides getting your PhD. So I would say as a licensed clinical therapist, when I say you can work anywhere, like you are like gold. Like you can work in the hospital, for the city, for the state, federal, vets, like you like the man. When you have your clinical license, you really can work anywhere. You can do any kind of work with any kind of field. I just got a contract position to be an art therapist. And I've worked with DCFS, I've worked with senior citizens, I've worked in the school, like any avenue you can name, and the pay is better when you have your license. So if you become a therapist, like go all the way, get your license, especially being a black man, because it's not many black men in the field. It's not many men in the field, period.
Other questions? Okay.
Hi,
sorry.
Hi, my name is Tamia Jenkins, and love your locks.
Thank you.
This question is kind of off topic, but how long have you had your locks, and do you have a lock anniversary?
That's funny. October will be 5 years. So I guess October is my lock anniversary. I didn't even think about that was important. And being a hairstylist is so funny. When I say my hair has been every way, like I have bthen bald-headed, short, weave to my ankles. Like I've had everything, and this is like my favorite thing I've ever done. It's part of like my free look. I do what I want. And then another thing my mom said, you should not lock your hair. Why would you do that? Boom, I got locks.
Well, they look beautiful. You trying to start locks or something?
There's another person in the back.
Oh, okay. Other question?
In the back.
Can you come up to the front, please?
My name is Egan. What fashion trend do you see or hope to see come back?
I love the 80s fashion. So like the crazy colors, the scrunch socks, the of course big earrings and the funky hair. Like I love 80s fashion and just vintage stuff. Like I could be in that time limit forever. Like I could shop just at the thrift store. I never have to go to a new clothing store ever.
Well, also, I mean, you customize your looks too. So.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
I don't know what that was. We're going to ignore it. Other questions? Okay. Okay. We got to give the people who didn't give an answer.
Of originality. Like, how do you make sure it's your brand? You don't want people stealing your idea?
Oh, that is a very good question. So people will steal. If you don't get it trademarked, even when you get a trademark, they steal it. One thing that's so funny about me, though, is when I make something, by the time I post it, I'm over it. So, like, you could copy it. You could have it. I'm on to something else. And then I only make one of everything. So I won't make two of it. So if you try to copy it, I think at first I used to be like, dang, she took my idea. But then I got to a place where it's like, oh, that's so cute. You tried to do what I did. And I'm like, I'm over it. I'm making something else. So it's like, you can have it, girl, like that.
So you didn't feel no type of way when you saw Akira steal design?
No, because I feel like Akira, they steal a lot of small designers' ideas. Like the tie thing they did, I was doing that years ago. It's just funny to they go on social media and steal black designers, or any designers, small designers, I should say, not black designers, small designers' ideas. And then they got factories and, workers, and so they can repetitively make 100 of them while we can only make 10 of them or 5 of them. So, I mean, we kind of just have to brush it off because Akira's bigger than us. So.
I mean, it's the same with Fashion Nova, Shein. A lot of that stuff y'all see definitely was stolen from like small business owners. But I mean, when you talked about like getting everything trademarked and everything like that, is that a long process, or how was that for you?
So even still, when you get something trademarked, the red tape is like Shein is in China, so then they don't have to abide by my Illinois trademark. They can still reproduce it, and I won't be able to do anything about it. So I just feel like as a small business owner, I have to choose my battles, like what I'm willing to fight about. Like when I say I have more ideas than I have time to make. So like they could steal my ideas. Like I'm seriously on to something else. Like I have so many ideas of stuff to do. Like I don't even have time to like be mad that they stole it. And my quality of that item is going to be way better than the way they made it.
Period. It'll never be better than the original.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll get you. Yeah.
Me there. A new fashion trend. I guess mine would be like people being individuals and not being like everybody else. I feel like we're in a culture where we monkey see, monkey do. Like, oh, she did it, I want to do it. And like everybody looks the same. We look like little soldiers. So I guess mine would be just being an individual and being okay that you look different or that you're different. That would be my fashion trend.
Okay, hi. My name is Kyle Watson. I have a statement and I kind of have like 2 questions. Number 1, can I just say, love your outfit. Absolutely do. I love your earrings. I want some. And my question is, let's go. I'm sorry. I'm excited. My bad. Fashion is your passion, right? Okay, so how do you keep your mental in check, or how do you keep going when you're having like a bad day or a bad month or a bad few months? Like, how do you keep going? How do you keep yourself like up, if that makes sense?
That's a good question. And that answer will fit into any profession you choose. I would say, one, I've learned to listen to my body. If my body say we tired, then I need to take the day off. I need to take a break. I need to go on a vacation or go sit by myself or something. So definitely, I would say listening to my body and taking better care of myself. Like I'm really bad with like skipping lunch. So just small things like that. But how do I get back when I'm having a bad day? I take a break. I'm a crybaby. So I will like cry it out, and then I'll be like, okay, girl, let's get up, because we still gotta go to work. And then also I have 3 kids, so like they're dependent on me to make it work. So I don't get to like take a month off and soak in my tears. Like I get to cry for maybe 5 minutes, and then I gotta get up and get it going. A lot of times writing down my ideas or writing down what I'm struggling with or what my challenge is or what I'm going through will help me like reflect on it and be like, okay, that's not as bad as I thought. I could do this and do this. So just like journaling, taking a break, and self-care.
Palumi.
It's also off topic, but I seen your tattoos, and as a person that loves tattoos, so would never get them. Can you please talk about your tattoos, and if it's like with your brand or how you express yourself?
I would say it's definitely a part of expressing myself. Another thing that my mother didn't want me to get. And I got these as an adult, not like in high school when I snuck and did it. But like, I would say definitely expressing myself, just being free to do what I want to do what makes me happy, and I'm not harming anybody. So, yeah, and I think that kind of ties into my brand, because my brand is like, be unique, dream big, and like, do what you want to do what you believe in, look the way you want to look. And I do have Dream Girl on the back of my arm.
Okay, we do have time for one more question.
So it's so funny because I didn't learn that I could draw until recently. My earring display in my studio is like, it's like small canvas blocks of ladies' faces, and like they all look different. And they're all like different nationalities, different hair colors. And this was like a vision of mine where I wanted like a canvas with the earrings in the canvas as a display. So like these are on my wall. So I reached out to an art teacher that I worked with at CPS, and I was like, I have this idea, can you draw these canvases for me? And she was like, I'm not doing that for you, you could do it. And I was like, girl, I can't draw. And she's like, yes, you can, I just know you can. And so I just started like playing around, and I was like, dang, I can draw. So like, I didn't know I could draw until I tried to draw. And so I do have canvases on my wall that are my earrings. And to answer your question, do I sketch out my designs? I do not. I usually just see something and I have a vision for it, and I just go with that vision. If I'm doing something big, like the dress I wore to that wedding, I did sketch that out. But it's not my usual practice to sketch out my designs, just because I started the business not even knowing that I could draw. So it's not even something I usually do.
All right. Thank you so much for answering all of the questions. We will take more questions after this. Can you just tell us really quickly how to support you, where to find you, things like that?
Sure. Okay. So so my store is in the Beverly area of Chicago, and the address is 1838 West 95th Street.
Y'all can get it after 2 weeks.
38 West 95th Street. But also you can find me on all social media avenues, and the address is on there. So I'm on Facebook as Dream Girl Studio. I'm on Instagram as Dream Girl Studio, but my O is a 0. And of course I'm on TikTok as Dream Girl Studio.
All right. Thank you so much. Can y'all please give her a big round of applause?